Hello there guys, welcome to one of my videos. So, Donny Van Beek from Ajax has spoken on his future, and he insists that he is happy with Ajax and he would not complain if he was to remain at Ajax for next season. Now, obviously, my club, Manchester United, are interested in him. Also, to Real Madrid are interested in him. Now, earlier on this year, it did actually, say that Real Madrid had agreed to get Donny Van Beek for around £47 million. But actually, Donny Van Beek had denied this. Now, we've already said that he is our priority over Jack Grealish, because obviously, he's a cheaper solution than Jack Grealish. Now, Donny Van Beek obviously hasn't played in the Premier League as yet. Obviously, up until this point, he's spent the entirety of his career with Ajax. I think he's endured 12 years with Ajax. Obviously, joined their youth setup in 2008. Obviously, he was in their youth setup for around 7 years, so he did make his senior debut in 2015. I think for Ajax, he has made around 175 appearances in all competitions and scored around 41 goals. I think he's made around 118 appearances in the Eredivisie. Donny Van Beek has got a contract with Ajax until 2022. He is only young and he's predominantly a box-to-box midfielder, and I think he does play in that number 6. It was key for Ajax progressing to the Champions League semi-finals last season. Was it a couple of seasons ago? Ajax did win the domestic double. Edwin van der Sar earlier on this year was talking about the transfer saga regarding Donny Van Beek, and he did confirm that Manchester United and Real Madrid were interested in him, but he did mention that Ajax will not let him go on the cheap, basically. Obviously, Ajax in recent years have obviously lost Matthijs de Ligt. They lost him to Juventus in the summer of 2019, and they also lost Frankie de Jong. Obviously, he went to Barcelona. So, would you take Donny Van Beek at Manchester United? So, that is the latest news regarding him. But he said the move could be off anyway due to the coronavirus pandemic. But I don't think he's in any rush to leave Ajax. He really isn't. So yeah, just wanted to give you the breaking news on him. Now, I want to give you some breaking news on Jadon Sancho from Borussia Dortmund. Now, James Cooper has come out, and James Cooper is obviously very close to Man United, and I think he's been talking to the United stand, and he's given us a positive update on Jadon Sancho, and he says that, players that Man United want, they tend not to miss out on them. So this is what, James Cooper has come out and said. So maybe he believes that Jadon Sancho to Manchester United is still a possibility. Now, obviously, you had Borussia Dortmund's CEO coming out saying that Jadon Sancho will stay at Borussia Dortmund, and he has confirmed that he will not be joining Manchester United in this summer transfer window. Obviously, he said the exact same thing as what the Borussia Dortmund sporting director said, Michael Zorg, because he said that, Sancho will stay at Borussia Dortmund. And he also mentioned that Dortmund secretly extended Sancho's contract until 2023. Now, Jadon Sancho has also come out and said that he has opted against putting a transfer request in, because we all said that Sancho will have to put a transfer request in to force a move to Manchester United. Now, obviously, Dortmund made it clear to us that, we had until the 10th of August to sign Sancho. And obviously, we missed out on the deadline to sign Sancho. So obviously, the transfer saga does continue to persist. Ed Woodward did recently say that he expects the Jadon Sancho transfer saga to go on for the entirety of this summer transfer window. Obviously, the other week, it was looking very, very imminent that Sancho was going to be coming to Manchester United, because you had Fabrizio Romano, who's a very reliable Italian journalist and is close to Man United. You know, he said that negotiations between Manchester United and Borussia Dortmund were at an advanced stage. And he did say that Sancho agreed personal terms with Manchester United, and he said he was set to sign a 5-year contract with the football club worth around £250,000 a week. But like I've said, you know, throughout the course of this Jadon Sancho transfer saga, it has been Borussia Dortmund's asking price that has been the stumbling block. Because Dortmund have said several times that they want over £100 million for the player. And we have said several times we are not willing to pay what Dortmund are demanding. Dortmund's valuation is around £108 million. And I think they have said that they want around £90 million up front. And all of that. So it has been Borussia Dortmund's asking price. That has definitely not been the stumbling block. But I think Sancho did say that he does want to make a move to Manchester United. Obviously, you know, we have been looking at alternatives to Sancho, because I will make an admission, you know, these cheaper solutions than him. Obviously, you know, we've recently been looking at Ousmane Dembele from Barcelona. You know, we've also been looking at Rabbi Matondo from Schalke. We've been looking at Vinicius Jr. We've also looked at Thiago Almeida. We've also looked at Federico Chiesa. Douglas Costa from Juventus. We've looked at him. Kingsley Coman from Bayern Munich, you know, we've inquired about getting him on loan. But I think now, to be honest with you, Jadon Sancho to Manchester United is, you know, very, very unlikely. It really, really is. But, you know, we already made a promise to him that, you know, we was willing to offer him the number 7 if he came to Man United, because he'd fulfill number 7 well. And obviously, you know, we have got number 7 vacant at the moment, but we have had a lot of good number 7s up and down the generations. Borussia Dortmund is the third club in Sancho's playing career, because obviously before he was at Dortmund he was at City. He enjoyed around 2 years with Manchester City, but the main explanation why he left City is because he did not get assured any first team opportunities. And before he was at City, he was at Watford, and he was at Watford for several years, was, you know, Jadon Sancho, from the age of 7 to the age of 14. But yeah, you know, Sancho's enjoyed 3 good years with Borussia Dortmund. Obviously, you know, Dortmund got him back in 2017 for just £8 million. So Dortmund got him for next to nothing. But analyse his performances in the few years he's been with Dortmund, his valuation has persistently grown. There's been also narratives coming out today saying that, you know, Real Madrid and Barcelona have entered the race for him, and they could go in for him next year if we do fail to sign the player in this summer transfer window. But quite a few transfer experts have spoken about the Jadon Sancho transfer saga. But there is definitely no cheaper solutions than him. So yeah, so that's just an update on Jadon Sancho. Now, I want to give you some news of what Bruno Fernandes has come out and said. So Bruno Fernandes has come out and said that, you know, Manchester United winning the Europa League may be a stepping stone to, obviously, you know, future success. Now, Bruno Fernandes knows how important it is for Manchester United to win, you know, this competition. I think, you know, Bruno Fernandes has enjoyed a fantastic, you know, start to his Man United career. Obviously, you know, we got Bruno Fernandes in January from Sporting Lisbon. I think we did get him in a deal. Was it worth around £60 million with add-ons included? Obviously, I think Bruno Fernandes has got around 11 goals for Man United in all competitions since his arrival from Sporting Lisbon. Don't forget, Bruno Fernandes has won Player of the Month 3 times. Reflect on his good performances. I think he won it for June, didn't he? He won it for March, and he also won it for February. But he has definitely, you know, made the difference in the team. You know, he really, really has. And I thought he also did fantastic on his debut in the league against Wolves back in February, because I think he had the most touches in that game. So, yeah, Bruno Fernandes knows how important this is, you know. But like I said, you know, you had Solskjaer coming out recently saying, you know, winning the Europa League as Manchester United manager would be one of his greatest achievements. So what he means is it would surpass 1999. Solskjaer's obviously, confirmed his plans to ensure that we do get to the Europa League final. He's obviously said our players must use hurt from our two other semi-final defeats. But the main explanations why I want Man United to win the Europa League is because obviously if we win it, it will be our first trophy under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. Obviously, it'll end our trophy drought because we haven't won a trophy for over 3 years. Also, too, it will be our 4th trophy since the Alex Ferguson era. And it will be our 2nd Europa League because obviously, we won the Europa League back in 2017 under the Jose Mourinho era. But, Solskjaer said semi-finals are not good enough. And, we have got Sevilla on Sunday in the Europa League semi-final. It is our 3rd semi-final this season because don't forget we got to the EFL Cup semi-final and we also got to the FA Cup semi-final. But it is going to be a big test is Sevilla because like I said, Sevilla are the record holders of the Europa League because they have won it 5 times. The most recent they won it was back in 2016. I think they did beat Liverpool in the final. Obviously, the last time we played Sevilla was back in 2018 in the last 16 of the Champions League. We had lost by 2-1. Sevilla did recently knock Wolves out by 1-0. They knocked Wolves out by 1-0. But yeah, this will be a very, very tough game and it is on Sunday and it's going to be interesting to see how Ole Gunnar Solskjaer approaches the game. He'll go with his strongest 11 obviously because he isn't going to take any risks. I think he probably will make a couple of changes from the win against Copenhagen recently. But we've progressed to the semi-finals of the Europa League by obviously beating Copenhagen in the quarter-final 1-0, beat Lask in the last 16 2-1 and 5-0 and obviously beat Bruges in the round of 32 5-0 and obviously it was 1-1 in the other game. But definitely the Europa League is a priority for Manchester United. It really, really is a priority for Man United. Like I said, the only injuries we have got is obviously Luke Shaw, Phil Jones and Alex Tuanzebe. I think they're expected back for next season. They are expected back for next season. Sevilla, they'll probably go with a similar lineup as they did do against Wolves recently. They'll probably start the likes of Jesus Navas. They'll start Fernando. Probably Suso will be involved for them. But Sevilla, have got some very, very good players. And by the way, my preview for the game will be coming up soon. Probably coming up tonight will the preview for the game. I do presume that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will be doing his press conference tomorrow ahead of the game. Now, I just want to give you some breaking news on Dean Henderson. So, reportedly, Dean Henderson's future is nowhere near close to being resolved as yet. Dean Henderson is set to return to Manchester United. Obviously, Dean Henderson has endured a 2-year loan with Sheffield United, and he's endured two successful years with Sheffield United because I think this season he has been Sheffield United's player of the season. Dean Henderson's got a contract on Man United until 2022. Obviously, he said the other week that we'd been in negotiations with Dean Henderson's agent over getting him a new deal, and reportedly we've offered Dean Henderson around £60,000 a week. I think Solskjaer's got to make Dean Henderson as our number 1 for next season because I think, he's now got that experience and he is now reliable enough to become our number 1. But Solskjaer is facing a goalkeeping dilemma because he did recently say prior to the Copenhagen game that he's got a tough decision to make on 3 of our goalkeepers, and he said we'll find it difficult to keep De Gea, Henderson and Romero all at the football club for next season. As you all know, David De Gea has been our number 1 for several years. But I don't think he's no longer good enough to be number 1 because he has been a liability in the last couple of years De Gea's been long-serving at Man United. He has enjoyed, 9 years at the club. He's approached his 10th year now at Man United. And I said to you, didn't I, he's had 7 good years out of the 9 years he has been here. But he's made far too many calamitous mistakes in the last couple of years. Obviously, if Dean Henderson was to obviously come back, then obviously Sergio Romero would be third choice. Unless we sold De Gea, then obviously, Romero will be then used as second choice and be backup. But I just can't see us selling David De Gea in this summer transfer window. So definitely Solskjaer has got a goalkeeping decision to make. But big decisions anyway have got to be made in this summer transfer window. Of obviously what players we're going to recommend in. And obviously, what players we are going to get rid of. And that. Solskjaer has outlined his transfer plans. Obviously, he's instructed our board to go out and get his preferred targets. And all of that. And Solskjaer has said, he wants to make at least 3 signings in this summer transfer window. I think Ed Woodward has said, he wants Man United to make around 3 or 4 signings in this summer transfer window because obviously Solskjaer does want to overhaul the Manchester United squad. Solskjaer, did say at the start of his managerial tenure that he wants Man United to make around 9 signings. He agreed this with Mike Phelan and that. And so far, Solskjaer has made 4 permanent signings at the football club and spent just over £200 million. And obviously, brought these players in his 2 previous transfer windows. Well, he brought Ighalo in as well, but obviously he brought Odin Ighalo in on loan. So I think, our recruitments, looked much better under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era because we have been criticised for several years, reflecting how poor our recruitment policy has been. And Solskjaer's obviously identified the areas in the squad where he does want to strengthen up. Earlier on in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's managerial career, he had worked out his transfer strategy and he said he wants to recruit young British talents to Manchester United, like he did do, in the summer of 2019 and that. But the players that's on our agenda, Grealish, he still remains on our agenda, but I can't see Grealish coming to Man United. It did recently say that, Grealish was going to hold negotiations with Christian Purslow, the Aston Villa chief executive, when he does come back from his holiday. But we know Villa want 80 million for Grealish. Obviously, there's few centre-halves on our agenda. We've been in for that Gabriel Magalhaes from Lille. We're still in for Kalidou Koulibaly from Napoli. So there's a lot of players on our agenda in that. But I think, we should recruit well in this summer transfer window. Because obviously, this season, Solskjaer has exceeded expectations so far. That is, obviously got us qualification for the Champions League. And I did say, didn't I, how important Champions League was for our players, attracting players and for the financial structure. We also finished 3rd. That was a fantastic achievement. And obviously, we progressed to 3 semi-finals in that. We know the big test for Solskjaer is next season because next season, he will have bigger expectations to exceed. Our expectations next season probably will be to challenge for the Premier League title and that. But we want to be up there competing with the likes of Manchester City and Liverpool. Obviously, this summer transfer window is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's 4th transfer window as Man United manager and that. But, we should get, the players that we do want. And I think, our transfer budget is around £140 million. Is around £140 million of that. But I'm just very, very glad that Solskjaer proved his critics wrong, because I was very critical of him earlier on in the season, and so too were a lot of Manchester United fans. Earlier on in the Premier League season, you'd have thought Solskjaer would have been sacked, because earlier on in the season, we enjoyed our worst start ever to a Premier League season and all of that. But I give you the main explanations why Solskjaer did not get sacked as Manchester United manager and that. Obviously, earlier on today, I give you the breaking news, didn't I, on Andrés Pereira. Obviously, this was stemming from the Brazilian outlet Esporte Interativo. They said that Andrés Pereira is leaving Manchester United despite Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wanting him to stay at the football club. Obviously, Andrés Pereira has endured a difficult season. Obviously doesn't get in the team now anyway, because since the arrival of Bruno Fernandes, Pereira has found game time very, very difficult. Pereira's still got a contract at Man United till 2023, so still a few years left on his contract. Obviously, Pereira's endured 8 years at Man United, got him in 2012 from PSV. Obviously had a few years in the youth setup, then obviously broke into the senior squad in 2014. Andres Pereira has made 45 appearances for Man United in our senior squad. I think Andres Pereira's agent has been talking with clubs in Germany, Spain and Portugal. Pereira did have loan spells as well with Granada and Valencia. So it's looking like, he's now leaving Manchester United. But we're going to get rid of quite a lot of players in this summer transfer window. Pereira's going to be going. I think Lingard's going to go, despite Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wanting him to stay at the club. I think, we're going to get rid of Diego Dalot. I think we're going to get rid of Rojo. I think we're also looking to get rid of Chris Smalling. I think we'll be also looking to get rid of Phil Jones. Some United fans will say we need to get rid of Juan Mata in this summer transfer window. Eric Bay. He recently said that we'd offered Eric Bay to AC Milan. I think we probably need to get rid of Eric Bay, not because he's a bad centre half. He's just far too injury prone and that. So we're going to get rid of players. But to be fair, Solskjaer has got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he got recommended into Manchester United. Obviously, Solskjaer has been at the football club now over a year and a half. And I've taken positives from his tenure, I really, really have. But there's still improvements needed at Manchester United, isn't there? But I said to even if we hadn't got qualification for the Champions League, Solskjaer did still deserve another season, because it is a transition period, and it has been a transition period for a while. And like I said to you, I'm hopeful that we can win our 21st title under the Solskjaer era. We are the most successful team in Premier League history at the moment, because obviously, we've won 20 titles and 13 of them are Premier Leagues, but we have not won the Premier League since 2013. Solskjaer is still in the process of rebuilding, because there's only 5 players that he's brought in so far. Obviously, Solskjaer's inheriting players from the Jose Mourinho era. There's still a few players from the Van Gaal era, there's Mattery from the Moyes era, and still a few players from the Alex Ferguson era and that. But in the last 7 years, we've spent a good £900 million on players, and we've recruited a good 32, 33 players in since Alex Ferguson left. So people say in reality, reflect on the money we've spent, we should be, where Liverpool are, or minimum, where Manchester City are and that. But a lot of teams have been through transition periods. But like I've said to you, in the last 7 years, we have been playing catch-up. Like I said, we've had different managers with different philosophies. Like I said, there's been issues with the club's board for several years. There's been a lot of problems with Ed Woodward, and, there's also been a lot of problems with the Glazers and that. We haven't dominated English football since the Alex Ferguson era. Like I said, we have extended a lot of players' contracts since Solskjaer got recommended into the football club. I think we've still got around 7 or 8 players' contracts that are due to expire next year, so we've got to make a decision on those players. Earlier on as well today, I give you the news on Odion Ighalo. There were stories coming out from Foot Mercato, which is a French publication, and they said that PSG are interested in Odion Ighalo because they are seeing him as a replacement for Edinson Cavani, and probably seeing him as a backup to Mario Icardi, because PSG did recently get Mario Icardi permanently for around £52 million. I don't know what we're going to do with Ighalo, to be honest with you. Obviously, we got him on deadline day in January, got him on the 6-month loan, but then obviously, Ighalo agreed to get his loan extended by Man United until January 2021. We have no option to buy Ighalo, or there's no obligation to buy. Ighalo's got 8 goals in 18 goals. Is he scored about 18 goals for us or something like that? Wait, how many goals has he scored for us now? I think it's about 8 goals, is it, in 18 appearances, something like that anyway, but yeah. The reason we got him in on January deadline day was obviously, to use him as a cover-up for Marcus Rashford and that. Solskjaer did say back in February, we could decide on getting Odion Ighalo permanently. You know the news on Paul Pogba. I gave you the news regarding Paul Pogba earlier on this week, didn't I? Paul Pogba's expected to sign a new contract at Man United. I think it said contract talks are expected to happen when the Europa League is over. You had Fabrizio Romano the other week saying that Pogba's happy at Man United and he wants to stay at the club, and it said we will enter negotiations with his agent Mino Raiola over getting him a new contract at the club. And Solskjaer, said that Pogba will stay and he will sign a new contract and all of that. As it stands at the moment, Pogba's just got under a year left on his Man United contract, but the club do have an option to extend it for a further year. A couple of weeks before the season finished, it said Pogba was close to signing a 5-year deal with Man United and that. I thought towards the end of the Premier League season, Paul Pogba did very, very well, because for the vast majority of the season, don't forget, he was out with that ankle injury. So, the news on him. But like I said, throughout the course of this season, I think Solskjaer has promoted the youth very, very well. And, our record against the top 6 sides have been good. Like I said as well, I think we're going to loan some young players out because, there's some players at Man United, that have found game time difficult. Tahith Chong, I think he's going to be loaned out. James Garner, he's going to be loaned out. Possibly Dylan Levitt, he's going to be loaned out. Daniel James, he could also be possibly loaned out as well. So there you go. But the summer transfer window has been open now over the week, innit? We've already seen signings made. We recently saw Liverpool sign Tsikmas from Olympiacos for 13 million. They try to get Thiago now. Chelsea back in February signed Hakim Ziyech for around £38 million, was it? 37 million, one of them. Obviously, they signed Werner from Leipzig, so they spent 80-odd million on them 2 players. Also, too, now Chelsea try to get Havertz, and they're also, trying to get Chilwell. Chilwell's their number 1 priority target. Arsenal have just recently signed Willian on a free. Manchester City, they've made a few signings. They got Ferran Torres from Valencia for 20-odd million pounds. They got Nathan Ake from Bournemouth for around 40 or 41 million. I think they signed another player as well. So, yeah, signings have been made. They have been made and all of that. But, yeah, be patient with Solskjaer. Give him more time at the football club because, like I said, he's our 4th permanent manager since the Alex Ferguson era and that. So, my next video, your preview for the Sevilla game will be coming up. Drop your comments, like, explore on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always. And take care, God bless, and I'll see you guys all again very, very soon.